Hey guys! Today I thought I would walk around and show you all of the plants I have in my collection at the moment and how I have them displayed in my home. I don't know, just tell you some different things about each of my plants. Let's go do it!
Before we get into the tour, I just want to say a huge thank you to Helix Kids for sponsoring today's video. I've talked about my Helix mattress many times on my channel, and I'm happy to report that our experience with the Helix Kids mattress is equally awesome. The Helix Kids mattress features a two-sided design. There's a firmer side for younger kids 3 to 7. 3 to 7-year-olds need more spinal support to aid proper development. And the softer side is for kids 8 to 12. The Helix Kids mattresses are made with safety in mind without harmful chemicals and have undergone extensive lead and phthalate testing to ensure little sleeper safety, which is the most important thing. The mattress also features a hypoallergenic cover that's both stain and water repellent because, you know, kids. Kids be kiddin'. And it also features a microbe shield to combat odor-causing bacteria. The Helix Kids mattress was named Parents Magazine's 2022 Best Mattress and has been tested and approved by medical doctors, sleep consultants, child behavior specialists, and real parents with kids aged 3 to 12. And just like the adult Helix mattresses, the kids mattress includes a 100-night sleep trial, made in the USA, fast, free shipping within the US, and a 10-year warranty, plus there's financing options with flexible payment plans. I'm really happy for Kai to have this Helix Kids mattress because I truly trust Helix. They have made such an impact in my sleep. And even better, use my link, which is down in the description box and pinned at the top of the comments to get 20% off your Helix Kids mattress plus 2 free pillows. Thank you, Helix, for making this video possible. Now let's get into the plants.
Okay, so starting over here, this is where we would eat if we had a dining room table. I have my biorb here. I do have, oh cute, there's a little snail eating this cucumber I put in there. Oh. So this is my biorb. I have a bunch of moss in there. There is a kangaroo fern. There's philodendron brantianum, monstera adansonii, begonia negrosensis. Clearly the rest of the plants are doing just fine. If you watched that video, it has grown in quite a bit since I was worried the moss was going to die, but it hasn't so far, and I feel like we're in the clear now. That is my biorb. Right next to that is my IKEA cabinet, which has been doing okay. So the bottom half of it is doing excellent and growing really well, but the top half is actually drying out a little bit too much. In fact, I'm gonna spray it while we're here. We'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone as we speak about it. I am also having issues with the, crap, I forget what this stuff is called, not staying in place. So yeah, the bottom half is staying excellent and growing in really well, but the top half really isn't, other than this peacock moss. So I don't know what I can really do about that. I wish it would just hold a little bit more moisture up here. On top of my cabinet, I have a few plants. This is my syngonium batik. Here we have a syngonium erythrophyllum. This is the one with the super dark, almost black leaf tops, and the undersides are pretty vibrantly red. This is a syngonium angustatum, I believe. Well, let's see. Let's double check because there is an ID tag in here. Aridum, actually. Syngonium aridum. This is a syngonium strawberry and cream. Here we have a syngonium syngonium. I got syngonium on my head because there's so many up here. This is a scindapsus silver hero. These are just a couple little propagations I took. I'm hoping that they'll start to grow here soon. And this is a scindapsus silver lady, which is actually one of my favorite scindapsus, I think. I don't know, they look very leopard spotted to me. And here we have a small little philodendron melanochrysum. Up here on my light, we have 4 different plants. So this is a global green pothos. This Mandula pothos is actually growing all the way over here. And then over here we have another Mandula pothos. And on the other side, we have a snow queen pothos. So just a lot of pothos that are easy, tolerant plants. And I love them up here. Okay. This is my spathiphyllum sensation, just pretty much a large form peace lily, and it has a bloom up here, which for like a week or so I was walking around like, what smells so good? It ended up being that, and I'm very excited. It doesn't smell good anymore, but there is another bloom on the way. That was really exciting. And then here we have my, turn it, Cebu blue pothos, which is probably my favorite kind of pothos. I think it's so beautiful. It's so low maintenance. I just love it. It grows wild and is so, so easy. Like I just keep saying over and over, but it really truly is. And I really like it here. Okay, so swinging you to the other side of this door, we have my Norfolk Island pine, which is just absolutely beautiful. I got this around Christmas time and hasn't grown too much, although I am starting to notice a lot more new growth lately, probably because the sun is shining a little bit longer lately with spring here now. This is the situation we have it in. Spinning you around here, right here on this bookshelf, which has my kids' books and some of their toys. Okay, I just have to show you this planter because I think it's so beautiful. I forget what it's called when pots get this beautiful coloration, but I seriously love it. This one has a little bit of everything going on and I'm not sure why, but I'm not mad about it because it's beautiful. In the planter, we have a reverting philodendron Jose buono. There is still a little bit of variegation on some of the leaves you can see, like a tiny bit. It's just not super stark or anything. I'm fine with that though. I do have a few of these in my collection, so I'm okay with them reverting. And in front of that, we have this philodendron micans. This is a terrarium that houses my ghost mantis. She is currently molting, so I'm not going to try and pull her out and show you or anything, but yes, this is her home. It is growing in quite nicely. I'm very happy with how it's coming in. I was worried it was going to die. And then on the end here, we just have a little golden pothos. These are actually little propagations. Each time I propagate some golden pothos, it ends up potted into here. So I'm just gradually making it more full. I'm gonna work on the back side next because it is a little bit empty back here. This is where we just were. Now I'm gonna show you the plants that people really don't see, even though they're there. And it's because they're on the back, they're behind my couch. Just have a little bit of water with a kalanchoe, like a mother of millions, I believe. And then some sort of echeveria that my friend sent me. And next to that, we have this beauty, which actually went through a little bit of a thrip phase. Here we have I want to say that this is a rickrack cactus, but I know that there are a few that all look pretty similar. So if you're fairly certain you know the idea of this, please help a sister out and leave a comment. This was sent to me, but it's so cute. I love it so much. And I hope it gets huge and massive. I hope it takes over this whole windowsill. And then on this last window here, we have a dracaena of some sort. I will put the name on screen. I'm just pulling a blank right now for some reason. Next to that is my Mama Coral Fire Aloe. I've talked about this plant a lot of times on my channel and I just really, really love it. It is like kind of a basic plant, I think. I just love it. I will never get rid of this. It would take something crazy for me to get rid of it. This is my ficus altissima. Beautifully variegated leaves stacked up a bunch of times. I have this dracaena marginata. I love how it like fills in back there. I don't know, just if it wasn't there, this would look so empty. And especially once it gets a little bit taller, I think it'll look even better. It has super dark green leaves with a tiny bit of red striping on each side, which is so, so pretty. So pretty. I love it. And it's just kind of a bushy mess, which if you know me, you know I love the wild plants the most, the wild looking plants most. Back here is my ficus elastica. This is the like burgundy one, the super dark one. This plant is just so beautiful to me, the coloration of it more than anything. In front of it, we have variegated heartleaf philodendron. This isn't the pot that it came in. This is one from Lowe's. I just potted a bunch of my propagations into here together to make like a larger plant. The leaves are so beautiful. It's just such a pretty plant. And I already love heartleaf philodendron, so to have like another variety of it is great. Here is my Bonnie spider plant. This one has so many babies now. I'm not super big on spider plants, but I do really, really love this curly one. It's just so weird. What is it doing? And so many babies. I especially love these when they get babies. All right, those are those. Bonnie. Meet Bonnie, everybody. On my makeshift lamp planter. We have my scindapsus pictus exotica, which has been on this channel for a long, long time. Here on the top shelf in the back, we have a scindapsus jade. This plant here is my dischidia ovata, which I love this plant. There's like not a single thing I lied. There is actually one thing I don't like about this plant. So All of these little clusters, like there's one, here's one, there, 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 like they really are just all over there. Those are blooms. They're not opened up yet, but once they open up, they eventually dry up and fall off, and they are a little bit messy. It's the only downside though. I think the leaves are so cute and plump. It does need high light, and I don't water it very often. It holds water. The leaves are super succulent, so it holds water very well. Next to that, I have some scindapsus exotica propagations just rooting in water, and then a couple containers of scindapsus jade cuttings rooting in water. They have quite hefty root systems. This one too. So I'll probably pot those up here soon. And behind that we have a ponytail palm. It's like a surprising favorite of mine. I didn't think I was really going to love this, and in fact I didn't for a while, but now I am all about it, especially as it gets more wild hairs. The wilder, the better. And in front of that, we have this beauty, which I potted into like a shallow planter and put rocks on top. Mostly the rocks were to help weigh the planter down, where this plant is so like top heavy, it just kind of would fall over without the pebbles in there. But I think it looks really, really nice actually, minus the plastic saucer. Anyway, this is a dancing bones. It's so wild, and I love that the main stem kind of, I don't know, curves around all over the place. It's just so unique. I was kind of nervous about it at first because I wasn't sure how to take care of it, but this one has like one tiny little wrinkle, but when it wrinkles more than that, that's how I know that it's starting to get a little bit thirsty, that it needs to be watered. So that's helpful. You know, I love vocal plants. So that's the very top of the shelf. Next row, we have scindapsus treubii moonlight. I found this plant to be really hard in the beginning. It wasn't very well rooted. It's now very well rooted, and it has become so much easier now that the root system is more established. So if you're struggling with this plant, maybe it just doesn't have the root system it really needs yet. So it'll need a little bit of TLC until it gets to that point, and then it becomes much, much easier. This is a crassula of some sort that I am rooting. It has some like air roots for some reason. So hopefully there's some soil roots as well. And in these planters I made, we have a couple of Sansevieria. I'll put the names on screen because I'm not sure of them off the top of my head, but I got these from Succulent Asia not that long ago. Here we have my Rhipsalis cruciform something, getting quite long. Like I was saying, I love Rhipsalis because they like deflate when they're thirsty, which takes out a lot of the guesswork as far as watering goes. So I always appreciate plants like that. And this one is wild and funky and so cool. Okay, here I have some caudex plants. Oh my gosh, this one is a philanthus. They're not rooted yet though. I think they might need a little more humidity. If you guys have any tips on how I can get these to like root and activate and start to grow, that would be very, very helpful. I've been kind of struggling with it. Here we have some Pilia peperomioides babies, just like a whole bunch of them. I think there's like 6 of them in here. In front of that is a philodendron white knight, I believe. Yeah, pretty sure it's a white knight in this amazing planter, which I really, really love, from American Gringo. There is some sort of a syngonium in here, which I don't know what it is, so I'm just gonna let it grow and then find out what it is once it's a little more mature. But next to it, I have a Amplyssimum silver streak. For kind of a while has been like a little bit harder of a plant to find, I think maybe a little more expensive, but I did just recently, like the other day, see it available at Home Depot. If you like this plant, I definitely would check out your big box stores. But okay, this one's so weird because look, this is the same vine and it didn't put out a leaf, and then now suddenly it's like gonna shoot out leaves again. It reaches all the way to the next shelf, which is kind of cute. This is a hoya of some sort. I think it's really, really pretty, but like I 100% have no idea of the idea on this. Please share what you think it could be. I really like it. I think it has cool speckled coloring. I don't know. I think it's cool. Okay. There's that. That one lives right here in front of the epipremnum. Next to that, in this planter, which I also made and I'm very proud of, I think it's actually really cute, is this other caudex little plant, which I think I might have accidentally rotted out. I think it might be a little bit rotted because it's kind of mushy. But down here seems to be okay. So I'm not sure if you have experience with this plant. Again, please tell me if I need to water it or if I rotted it out, because, well, maybe it needs to be watered. It's seeming a little bit squishy, so maybe it needs to be watered. Ugh, it's just so hard to know for like the bulbous plants like that store water, because those ones usually rot so easily. I could give it a trellis and have this like climb around the trellis. You know what? I do think it's thirsty. Should I go water it? I will after this. I kind of like it just hanging down like that. So moving from that shelf to this shelf, we have a Dion Adule, which is dying. Maybe I overwatered it because I did water it recently and then this seemed to happen. I don't know. And I know this plant is highly toxic. Even the fluff on this thing is toxic. So I am very careful with this one around my kids. It's high up where they can't reach it. Back here, we have a little terrarium that once held a fern and has some sphagnum moss I'm kind of growing. I did accidentally underwater it, so everything died pretty much. The moss will be okay, it'll come back, but I don't think the fern is going to be making a comeback anytime soon. Back here we have my little gumball terrarium that I thrifted and made in another recent video. Doing well. This is a crown of thorns. It is just finishing up blooming, so these guys are drying up, falling off. I really like this plant. I think it has such a cute shape. And yeah, my mom gave me that. In front here, we have a little philodendron painted lady propagation. I'll show you a much more impressive one a little bit later on. Two more planters I made. I have a couple of sansevieria. Well, actually, I think this one's a sansevieria and I think this one's a haworthia. I don't know, I'll put the names on screen, okay? This right here is a peperomia hoffmanii. Me and this one had a lot of disagreements in the beginning, but I think I finally figured it out, which let me tell you, in my experience, this peperomia hoffmanii does not like to be top watered. Anytime I tried to top water it, it just like immediately rotted, it seemed like. So now I strictly bottom water it and it's done a lot better. So if you're struggling with yours, maybe try bottom watering only. See how that goes? In this little kind of cloche thing, I have a Hoya ganungading. I don't want to take the lid off because I don't want it to lose humidity, but it's just a little cutting and I'm trying to get it to grow. It does actually look like, okay, maybe I'm just going crazy, but it does actually kind of look like that tip right here is starting to activate, which would be exciting. We have a Sansevieria honii, golden something. This is a succulent. Oh no, wait, it's a kalanchoe. I do know this is a kalanchoe of some sort. This is a random succulent that's fuzzy. No idea about anything other than that. Here are a couple of Sansevieria in planters I made. Also a planter I made, but not as cute, not as impressive as those ones, especially this one. This is my favorite one I've ever made. This is a little spice jar that I used all the spice and made a little enclosed terrarium. I did this 2 months ago and it's growing and no signs of mold yet. No idea what this plant is in it. This one that's like, I don't know, it kind of looks like a pine tree or something. No idea what it is. I just found it in another plant. So let me know. Pretty cool. I actually really like this. I plan to do it with any spice jar I empty from here on out. It's an obsession. All right, in front of that, we have this scindapsus, which is a scindapsus silver splash. No, something splash. It is actually really hard to see the difference, especially if it's not side by side. I've brought my exotica here so we can compare the leaves. This one is a lot more like mottled. From far away, actually, you can see a difference a lot more. I don't know why I made that so complicated. That is that whole shelf. And here we are to the bottom shelf. This is my syngonium red spot tricolor, which was like my #1 wish list syngonium for a long time. I got this about a year ago as a very small plant. And as you can see, it's gotten quite big. I have lost a few leaves. In fact, this one's kind of yellowing, but as it loses older leaves, the new leaves keep coming in beautiful and healthy. So I like really love this syngonium. When I got this plant, it was very like elusive. It was hard to get a hold of, but I do think they're popping up more and more. So now it is a little bit more affordable, I think, which is very nice because everybody deserves some of this beauty in their house. We have a Thanksgiving cactus. Oh look, what a random little bloom. Wonder what's going on there. It bloomed like nonstop for 3 months this winter, which was really cool. Mine is a little bit sun stressed, so it looks almost purple, which I really like. These are pretty even not sun stressed, but I just love when they get that deep purple like ombre on the edges of the leaves. Here is a little syngonium frost. I think that's what it's called. Just a little propagation because I accidentally killed the mother plant by overwatering it, but this was the most recent leaf. It looks so pretty. I'm excited to see this one grow big and strong. And next to that is my Florida Beauty. No, Florida Ghost. The leaves come in kind of white, light colored like this. Whatever one that is. I think Florida Beauty. Florida Ghost. I think the pot is so cute with all that coloring stuff going on, and in this little crystal dish saucer. So that is that whole area. We have this little heartleaf philodendron on the mantle, which it's just in its nursery pot that I bought it in, sitting in this clear vase, and I let the roots grow through and I just add water into the clear vase. And I think it looks really cool. It's kind of hidden now because there's a lot of foliage going on, but for a while there, it really stood out. On this side, let me move you a little bit, is my philodendron Brazil. It's just wild. When me and Ryan are watching our shows, we can't see the subtitles half the time because this thing is starting to like grow up here. I don't want it to damage the TVs. I'll probably end up putting it somewhere different. This plant, you guys, is so amazing. And even if you only want to keep a few plants in your house, like this is one I think you should have. I think everybody should have it because it's so beautiful. Like the markings on the leaves. Okay, first of all, it's got those heart-shaped leaves. And not only that, but it has different colored greens in the middle. And then on top of all of that, you get kind of orange in the veins in the stems sometimes. And then also in the little, here's one, little sheaths in the sheaths. So it just like really, really stands out. I'm just lifting you up. So here we have the green vase has golden pothos and a little bit of philodendron Brazil propagating in water. There's clearly a bunch of dead leaves. I need to do some upkeep on that. And next to it is a little bit of scindapsus exotica propagating in water with massive, massive roots, but not very much foliage because I think I need to get it potted. I don't think that they have, I mean, they need nutrients. I haven't given them nutrients. So my puppy and my kitty. And on the other side here of this thing Ryan built for our coats is a Hoya Crimson Princess, which I really, really like how it's growing up here onto the frame and then also down here. I think it's so pretty, and I like this one specifically because it has that one random vine of just regular Hoya carnosa, the green one. The other ones are just so beautifully variegated. I love it. I really, really love it. Makes me so happy. So that is the Hoya that I just showed you. And that's it for this whole like living room, kitchen, dining room area. Oh, you need to use the bathroom? Let me show you where it is. I was trying to make that Infinity Castle vibes. Hello. If you're ever in the area and you need to use a restroom and you knock on my door, this is the bathroom you'll be using. Starting here, definitely the plant that stands out the most is my upright lemon lime philodendron. I freaking love this plant. I bought it a long time ago and didn't really take care of it like at all. Like it was in such bad shape. I just got to a point where I decided I'm gonna put better effort into caring for these things I brought into my house. That's like a whole other thing, a whole other spiel I don't need to get into right now, but it has grown so much. It's so beautiful, so beautiful, and such an easy plant, like really so easy. And I love this. Like, what's it doing? Why are you growing like that when your little sister over here is growing like this? What are you doing? These lights are actually grow lights. They're grow bulbs. I did that a few months back and my plants honestly are really loving it. So I didn't know if it would make that big of a difference because there is a decently lit window in here, but highly recommend the grow bulb thing if you're able to in some rooms. Like if it's a room where you have to keep the lights on all the time, I probably wouldn't recommend doing it, but where this is one that people just come in, they flick the lights on for a little bit and do their business and then leave. This is like our kids' bathroom where we give them baths and stuff. The light's only on for a little bit here and there, so there's just something to keep in mind, but it does really help my plants. That's probably a big reason why this beauty is like popping off. I'm getting off topic, but anyway, here I have my dracaena. I mean, okay, it's most commonly called lucky bamboo, but it's not actually bamboo, it's a dracaena. This one is turning yellow because I treated all my plants with sulfur and I accidentally didn't rinse enough of it out of the roots. So a little bit got down there, started to kill this. Once this offshoot gets a little bit bigger, I might end up just pulling this off, getting rid of this yellow stem and like putting this in the yellow stem's place. That's an option. We'll see what happens though. This is my syngonium white butterfly, which I got from my grandma. It is the plant that like got me into plants. Oh gosh. This plant came from my grandma's plant. She's currently in the hospital, but is being brought back to her home for end of life care after falling. So anyway, this plant like already means a lot to me, but right now it like especially, oh God. Here is my ficus umbellata. If you watched my video where I treated all my plants with sulfur, this is the one that had like the worst effects of that. All of the other larger leaves, like 4 of them, fell off. It has by now pushed out, like all of these are new leaves other than this one. It's going to make a comeback, but treating it with sulfur definitely did the plant dirty. So I don't know if I would ever do the sulfur thing again. I've got to be honest. Okay, this planter was 3D printed. Isn't that cool? And I thought it was a cool little combo. Ficus umbellata. And back here on this wood plank, we have my philodendron rugosum. This used to live out by my IKEA cabinet, but it wasn't getting enough light there. So I think this was the right decision because it had been trying to push this leaf out for so long. Within like a week of putting it under the grow bulbs in this bathroom, it finished pushing out this leaf and is already starting on another. I do think this was the move. You guys know probably already how I feel about philodendron rugosum. It's so cool. The texture of the leaves. Black a gator. Here on the windowsill, which this is an east windowsill, I have this. You know what? I'm gonna move them. I'm gonna move them off the sill so I can just show you right here. This philodendron, my brain is mush. This alocasia dragon scale. Wow, I am always blown away by this plant. Maybe I do. Okay, here's the thing. I know I've talked some mad shit on alocasia and anthurium. I think I'm just bitter because when I have one that does well like this one, it's amazing. I just think that I'm mad at alocasia and anthurium because I can't figure them out. Like they are a little bit harder than like philodendron and syngonium and you know, but maybe I need to give them a little bit more effort. Maybe I need to try with some different varieties. Maybe I need to try again because this one's doing decent. I mean, it's like growing at least. Let me know which variety I should try next because I'm gonna try. We have this Tephro-cactus geometricus, which you can see it's a little bit like squished looking. It's like wrinkled a little bit. That's my sign to water. I'm actually going to let it wrinkle a little bit longer because I definitely don't want to overwater this puppy. That's a pretty good way to know when your plant starts to deflate, odds are it needs a drink. I'm not sure if these are going to be blooms or if they're going to be like these, because this plant does grow balls on top of each other and it ends up looking really cool. Hopefully that's what all these little zits become, but right now, I don't know, it's just really a guessing game because I have no idea. All right, so this is a Sansevieria. Can't remember what kind it is as per usual. And here is another Sansevieria, also cannot remember what it is. I've had this one for like kind of I've had both of these for a long time and I just always forget the names and you guys are so nice and always tell me the names, but I still just forget. Last plant on the windowsill is this Monstera standleana aria, which has something weird going on. I kind of think I might have either overwatered or underwatered it. I'm kind of leaning toward underwater because that happened while I was on my 10-day trip. I mean, we'll see what happens with it. Hopefully it's fine. I mean, okay, it's clearly fine because it hasn't gotten any worse than that and I've watered it now. But I don't know, we'll see. Swinging you around to the other side of the bathroom, this is my ficus audrey. She will be getting moved outside in the next few weeks. Yeah, I just have to wait for it to warm up a little bit more. Probably gonna put a grow light right here for during the winter for it next year. Hanging from ficus audrey, I have this little kalanchoe donkey ear. Just a little teeny tiny one. And I think that's really cute. So this is my tenanth of some sort. Oh gosh, it's dried out. You know, this plant, I was like, when I was just looking at it, this plant looks, I was like, it looked a lot better the other day. It wasn't this yellow. Well, no shit, I forgot to water it. Dang it. And I had been doing so well with it for kind of a long time. I don't know the variety, I'm so sorry. But I think it's really cute. I like how the like veins and outlines of the leaves are dark like that. Oh, and the undersides are purple. Ain't it cute? This is my bedroom. Oh wait, where should we start? We'll start on Ryan's nightstand because there's actually a few sad stories here. So number one, this dracaena, I'm pretty sure this post is completely dead. These growth points are completely dead. These other two seem to be fine. They did brown a little bit when I treated it with sulfur, and the bottom leaves definitely turned brown and crisped up, but the new leaves are fine. And like, it looks like it is still growing. These two definitely aren't in as bad a shape as this one, but I am pretty sad about it. This is an Anthurium crystallinum. It was doing a lot better than this before I went on my trip to Belize, but this is one I forgot to water before leaving, so it dried out a lot. This leaf, which was previously excellent, dried up. This started to dry up. The new growth it was pushing out dried up, so I only messed up, like, this is the thing with plants. You can only mess up like once and like your plant look like you've been terrible to it forever. And this is a monstera obliqua, and same for this one. I forgot to water it. So like this leaf died. It is actually looking a lot better today, but yesterday, even though I had watered it, I don't know, it just hasn't perked up all the way. So I'm hoping it'll be okay. I just wish I had remembered to water these before I left because they'd be just fine. They'd look so much better right now if I hadn't messed up like that. Should we go to my nightstand next? Oh, Fish Park. Wow, you look so handsome. Woof. What you thinking? You look like a statue other than that little tail. Anyway, to my side, oh, I have this. This is a, what is this? Peperomia scandens large form. My mom gave me, this was just like one, probably, I mean, okay, actually it was probably like this long. So it wasn't like a very small cutting, but it was still a cutting, and it was only one cutting, and it has grown into this. I did propagate each of the individual nodes, and this is what it has turned into. So that was really nice of my mom to give me a cutting, and I really very much enjoy this plant. I think it's so cute. Let me turn off the light so you can see better. Is that better? I may need to move it soon though, because this thing is like starting to fall, and I don't really want a hanging plant right here. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay, next to my mirror, I have this Galaxy variegated money tree, and the variegation kind of faded for a while. So it put out some leaves with no variegation whatsoever, but it is kind of starting to come back. Hopefully the camera picks up all the speckling, and there actually really isn't that much of it, but this leaf actually had a decent amount. Hopefully the variegation is going to come back. That would be really cool. But regardless, I love this plant. That lives on this fuzzy stool thing in front of my mirror. Next to that, on a crate, an upside down crate that Ryan built, is this wide form monstera adansonii, which is my favorite. I mean, I like this a lot more than the narrow form. This also, I think, happened when I treated the plant with the sulfur. I don't know why that would have happened, and somebody told me the sulfur shouldn't have caused this, so maybe I misused it. A lot of my plants did this kind of thing after I treated it, and that's the only thing I had done to the plants, you know, that was outside of my normal care. So I don't know, kind of odd. But anyway, back to the tour. On my north window, philodendron subpinnata, which has the red undersides. I may need to move this one into my grow tent because it's not, I think it doesn't have enough humidity because it keeps doing stuff like this with the new leaves. I'm gonna leave it here for a little bit longer. I don't wanna move it around too much. So maybe in like another month or two, if this hasn't solved itself or it's having issues, I'm gonna move it back to the grow tent. Okay, so next to that, we have this cute little planter. I think it's actually like a mug. It's meant to be for drinks or something. That I got in Belize. In it, I put some sphagnum moss with this philodendron Jose Buono cutting. This was a top cut. And I'm hoping it'll do well in here. I think it will though. I feel pretty confident. Philodendron Jose Buono is so easy. Here in this amber like candle dish thing, I have a syngonium jade, which at this point, honestly, I think showing you the backlit you know what? I'll pull it down. These are just cuttings, but I'm sure they're rooted by now. Next to the syngonium jade, I have my aeschynanthus tie pink or pink lipstick plant. Potted these up in a video recently and I'm not quite sure how it's doing. I mean, some of them aren't doing great, it doesn't look like. But then some of them are pushing out new growth. So I don't freaking know. We'll see what happens. Hopefully over time it'll do okay. This bad boy right here is my philodendron burle Marx Fantasy on this cactus bone. I have it on this choya wood. I planted it with this choya wood stake, which I really like. And this plant is like cool on its own. It has a very interesting growth pattern. And the veining on the leaves is just incredible. With this, like, I think it's so cool. This is one of my favorite planty things in my whole house. Next to the philodendron burle Marx Fantasy, we have the Cissus amazonica, which is finally starting to grow. I cut it back because the vines were really, really long and the leaves were like this small. Kind of looking like it's gonna do the same thing. Next to that, we have this philodendron. Who are you? A variegated philodendron giganteum. I don't know what is going on there. That's so weird. Why is it doing those stripes? Because the older leaves all looked like this, and then I moved it into my room, and now it looks like this. What could be causing that? That is so weird. This is the most recent leaf. Here I have this begonia soli mutata, which were just cuttings that, I don't know, are dying. Yeah, they're dying. I should have propagated these in like a terrarium and then moved them out here. I think it would have done a lot better. I'm not going to give up on it though, because it might still grow back. Begonia are pretty cool that way. They're just very resilient in that they'll grow back even if there's just like the tiniest piece of tissue left. Okay, next to that sad story, we have this philodendron. I'm going to turn it so you can see a little better. Jose Buono. Has a lot better variegation than that other one I showed you. Oh look, it's getting a new leaf and it looks like it's going to be pretty white. Ooh, I really want to unroll it. Should I? No, I'll be patient. But I will show you guys at some point when it unfurls. Next to the windowsill, we have this. Oh my gosh, I just forgot what this is called. Burle Marx. Variegated philodendron. Variegated philodendron Burle Marx. Not Burle Marx Fantasy, Burle Marx. I remembered. Okay, yeah, I hope it'll grow up this post, although it might not be that type of growth pattern. We'll see. We'll see. I'm just testing it out. I'll let you know. Keep you posted. But it looks cool right now. Even if it doesn't end up growing up it just, I don't know, it's just like a little extra layer to the plant or something. Then down here we have this bad boy, which is my Monstera esqueleto. I did buy this plant big, but it definitely has put out some new leaves. Like these ones down here are the fresh leaves. This one too, actually. So this is the last leaf it had when it arrived. Oh, and look, it's starting to climb up the wall. Do you see? Yeah. This is the esqueleto. Here's a Monstera deliciosa. It actually lives in water in a garbage can. I need to pot it. I just keep putting it off. It's so easy to put off. Here is a Trandescantia nanook in this cute little face planter, which I know some people think is really creepy. It is creepy, but it's also cute. This is some type of an agave I got in a recent Succulent Asia unboxing. Here's a little like makeshift candle terrarium for Macode's Patola jewel orchid. I just put saran wrap on top to help hold the humidity in. Seems to be doing well. It seems like the plant has grown since I put it in here. This is a very happy story. It has grown so, oh my gosh, look, it's grabbed on. I love that. Grabbed onto this wire that attaches to my grow light. Hello, grow light. So anyway, oh my gosh, I'm going off on tangents. This is a Passiflora trifasciata, and it is finally starting to grow back after I chopped it way back. This is a sad story. This is a type of succulent. I overwatered it. So we'll see if it pulls through. I don't even know what's going on here. A bloom maybe, but it looks like it's gonna die. Here are some Bonnie spider plant cuttings that I am doing something with for a video. And it's in the same kind of situation. I have the Macode's Patola. And down here in this terrarium, I have a Rhaphidophora cryptantha, which is this one right here. And the rest of the plants in here are Ludisia species real, those beautiful vibrant pink ones. So here we have a much bigger, well, now I'm confused because is this a painted lady? Because this new leaf does not look like a painted lady. Well, is the leaf just sad? Like that's just very, is this like that orange marmalade or whatever? I don't know. I thought this was a painted lady. Maybe it is a painted lady. Maybe it's not. No, it is because it has the red petioles. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the painted lady. Next to the painted lady, I think it is, could be wrong, is this syngonium macrophylla. I think this is a really pretty plant. And next to that, guess what, is a very happy story. This is my philodendron gloriosum with 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves with a 5th on the way. And this is happy news because I struggled with this plant, putting out a leaf and then killing off the old one, putting out a leaf and then killing off the old one. But now it's putting out leaves and keeping the old ones, which gives me great joy. Next to that, I have this philodendron mayoi or Tahiti. I'm not sure if they're the same thing, but these are just a bunch of cuttings living in some very gross water that I should probably clean out. Actually, I'll do that after this video. Up here is a syngonium pink spot. And why is it doing this with a whole bunch of leaves? The last plant in this little section of plants that lives under my Soltex solution, Girl Light, is Monstera albo. This is the newest leaf. And this is also a new leaf. And then I also have a plain green stem in here, I think. Oh, and then this one is a new leaf as well. So I'm very excited for this to grow up and get huge. The last planty section in my room is on my dresser, and these are all the plants. So I'm gonna start on the right side. In the back here, I have this sport variegated monstera that I found at Lowe's. It's really, really beautiful. On this leaf, you can't really see the variegation as well as on that one. I would love if leaves started to grow in this color again. In this little planter, Monstera species Peru, it's just a propagation in moss. Here are some chameleon ZZ plant propagations, which is actually for a video. So you will see this on my channel at some point. This is a type of succulent. In this baby and goat planter, I have no idea what it is, but I really, really like it. I love the woody stems. And then just like the tree. I don't know, I just really like the shape of it. And back here is my Monstera Thai constellation. This plant is doing so much better than the last time I had it, so I'm very, very happy about that. This is the newest leaf it put out. Doesn't look like it's about to push out anymore, but I do think it needs to be repotted, which might help it do something again. Next to the Thai constellation in the back, I have this peperomia incana, which is the like fuzzy one. Right in front of that, this is my philodendron postazanum. Like the gloriosum, I've had the same issue with this plant, like putting out leaves and then dropping them, but look, 3 leaves, 4th on the way, we're gonna be okay. Sometimes it just takes some time for them to acclimate, I guess. In front of that, we have my kalanchoe marnieriana, which I am going to repot this summer because something isn't right here. I need to pull it out and see what's going on with the roots because it keeps dropping leaves. So something to do with lighting or moisture. I don't know, I need to figure it out, but I still think it looks really cool. I just know it's not doing great because it keeps dropping leaves. So if you know what that could be, please help. A little devil on my shoulder was telling me to go hide this one, but this is my ludisia discolor jewel orchid, and this piece is doing okay, but the rest of these aren't. And I don't know if they're actually they're rooted. Maybe just the leaves died off and they're going to continue to grow. This one feels like it's gonna keep growing. I think all the leaves just must have died off on this. I mean, that's maybe wishful thinking, but I'm gonna let it run its course, and unless this whole thing ends up as mush, I'm gonna leave it here and hope that it grows eventually. We have my mint variegated Adansonii. And this little guy is such a weirdo. My mom gave it to me. I don't know what it was. I think it's so weird. And then I have this one, which I know nothing about. All I know about it is that the top has a little bit of blue, and then it has these little dot things with some other colors too. That's literally all I know about that. Wow, it's a little phallic, isn't it? It's It's funny. Wow. Look at those colors. Oh my God, plants are so cool. And then here is a Anthurium magnificum or something. You guys, this plant was so big and beautiful. Treated it with sulfur, it dropped like 6 leaves. Back here we have my monstera subpinnata, which absolutely hates me. Partially I think this is from the sulfur because this kind of seems to be the same thing that happened with my other plants, but this one just has been putting out like a runner the entire time I've had it. And I don't know if it's about to push out a leaf or not. I would love if it did. We've just been kind of having a weird thing for clearly quite some time. So if you have any monstera subpinnata tips, please let me know. I would appreciate it. This green vase, we have my Hoya rotunda flora, but it's doing well, I would say. It has new leaves everywhere. And I think it looks really cute in this little jar. And in front of that, this is my, gosh, I can't remember. I will put the name on screen, but all of the leaves fell off pretty much instantly after I treated it with sulfur. But look, it is getting a new leaf up there. So I have high hopes that it's going to pull through. I mean, it looks fine. It just seems that a lot of my plants dropped leaves after I treated them with that. I don't know. Okay, up front here, just in this little cup, we have some spider plant babies, Bonnie spider plant babies. Again, it's for a spider plant video, same as the last one I showed you. And here we have a booby cactus, which I wish I knew what it's actually called. I don't know what could be going on with her nipples. Is this normal? I mean, it's been this way for kind of a while, but I just don't know if I'm doing something to make it worse. I don't think I am because the new growth seems to be okay, but maybe it got too much light too quickly because I did move it by this grow light pretty quickly. Maybe that was what happened. I don't know. Could that be it? Let me know. I'm just asking for all the advice this video, huh? And behind booby cactus, we have syngonium albo. Doing decent. It's okay. This wellfin sansevieria, which I love. I think the coloration, the markings are insane. Wow, that's so cool. Okay, there's the dresser. And just through this door is my bathroom. We're gonna have to move quick because my mic is going to die. So I'm like really gonna rush through these. I'm so sorry. But this is a ZZ chameleon. It's the one that I took all those leaf cuttings from you saw on my dresser. On the other side of the counter, we have this domino peace lily, which is just propagating in water. I'm doing something with this for a video. Up here, hanging above my bathtub is my, what is this? Lemon lime pothos, which is growing so fast. I may need to move this soon because it's just getting so long. On the bathtub here is my Hoya polynera, which I finally think I got rid of the mealybugs. Haven't seen one in a couple of weeks since I treated with sulfur. So even if a few leaves browned and lost some leaves, like I'm fine with that because we got rid of the mealies. This is some type of euphorbia. I have no idea what kind it is. Next to it is a lavender scallops kalanchoe. This is a Pilia peperomioides with some type of kalanchoe right here and a little burrows tail succulent there. This is my Euliarum Don Burnsii, another one that lost all of its leaves when I treated with sulfur. There's still roots and like healthy looking tissue at the very base of the plant, so I think it'll pull through, but I don't know, we'll see, because I don't know too much about that plant. But next to that is my Crassula ovata. It's my jade, which is like one of my favorite plants. Here's my Neoliposaur something fern, and this is a syngonium, a variegated syngonium chiapens or macrophylla. And then this right here, begonia, my mom gave me. I do not know the variety of it, but I love how weirdly it's growing. I have this Calathea macoyana, which is my absolutely favorite type of Calathea. I think it is so pretty with like that webbing and the dark spots. And this plant moves a lot, so it completely folds up at night, which is very, very fun. I I absolutely love it, and I do think it's a little bit of an easier calathea variety. So 10 out of 10 recommend that one if you're on the hunt for an easier calathea. Above the porcelain throne, we have a heartleaf philodendron, getting pretty long. This is a bunch of cuttings. Well, it's actually now a plant. They're all rooted of philodendron Brazil. You know, you can see some new leaf there, but they are all growing. That I am propagating for a friend. I could probably give it to her now. I will soon. Last plant of this whole thing is a golden pothos. If you watched my 1 month of propagating a golden pothos node video, this is actually that plant that I grew in that video. So it is getting quite big, and you can not even tell that it was just a bunch of tiny little nodes I propagated in some Tupperware. Okay, so those are all of the plants that live here with me. What'd you think? Oh my gosh, I forgot one. Right here, Hoya carnosa compacta. How did I forget that? Now that's all of my plants. Like, what plants that you saw in this video